The Impersonal Life. Original edition by Anonymous, later identified as Joseph Benner, expresses the concept that God is inside each one of us, doing the thinking and creating. Introduction. In order to better comprehend the deep and vital truths contained in the following message, you are urged to approach each reading with a quiet and open mind. Still the intellect, and invite your soul to do the teaching. Read but a sentence at a time, and do not pass to the next until something within you responds to the truth therein, and points out clearly the meaning for you. More than all, try to realize that the I speaking throughout the message is the spirit within your own soul, the impersonal self, the real you. The same self that in other moments of quiet points out to you your mistakes, your follies, your weaknesses, and is ever guiding and aiding you to live up to its ideals, which it continually holds before your mental gaze. It was to such a quiet mind as this that the message came, during months filled with an intense yearning for the guidance of the Spirit and an opportunity to serve the loving Father, who had been found to be ever present and always ready to bless those of his children who loved him enough to make him first in their hearts and lives. The help and guidance thus received is passed on to you, for the wise and loving teaching is so unusual and so wholly impersonal that it will apply equally well to everyone who is ready to receive it. The great blessing of the message is that, if you are ready, the I speaking herein will continue to speak directly to you from out of your own heart. After you lay aside the book in so intimate and convincing a way that it will make clear all your problems, be to you a fountain of wisdom and strength, and bring you peace, health, happiness, freedom, an abundance of everything your heart desires. This little book, therefore, is intended to serve as a channel or open door through which you may enter into the joy of your Lord, the Comforter promised by Jesus, the living expression in you of the Christ of God. The Publisher. Chapter 1. I Am. To you who read, I speak. To you who, through long years and much running to and fro, have been eagerly seeking in books and teachings, then philosophy and religion, for you know not what, truth, happiness, freedom, God. To you whose soul is weary and discouraged and almost destitute of hope. To you who many times have obtained a glimpse of that truth, only to find, when you followed and tried to reach it, that it disappeared in the beyond and was but the mirage of the desert. To you who thought you had found it in some great teacher, perhaps the acknowledged head of some society, fraternity, or religion, who appeared to you to be a master, so marvelous was the wisdom he taught and the works he performed, only to awaken later to the realization that that master was but a human personality with faults and weaknesses and secret sins, the same as you, even though that personality may have been a channel through which were voiced many beautiful teachings which seemed to you the highest truth. And here you are, soul aweary and famished, and not knowing where to turn. To you I am come, and likewise to you who have begun to feel the presence of that truth within your soul, and seek the confirmation of that which of late has been vaguely struggling for living expression within. Yes, to all you who hunger for the true bread of life, I am come. Are you ready to partake? If so, then arouse yourself. Sit up. Still your human mind and follow closely my word herein spoken, or you will turn away disappointed once more, with the aching hunger still in your heart. I am who I am, I who speak with such seeming knowledge and authority, Listen. I am you, the part of you who is and knows, who knows all things, and always knew, and always was. Yes, I am you, yourself, that part of you who says I am, and is I am, that transcendent, innermost part of you which quickens within as you read, which responds to this my word, which perceives its truth, which recognizes all truth, and discards all error wherever found, not that part which has been feeding on error all these years. For I am your real teacher, the only real one you will ever know, and the only master, I, your divine self. I, the I am of you, bring to you this my message, my living word, as I have brought to you everything in life, be it book or master, poverty or riches, bitter experience or love, to teach you that I, and I alone, your own true self, am the teacher for you, the only teacher and the only God, who is and always has been, providing you not only with the bread and wine of life, but with all things needed for your physical, mental, and spiritual growth and sustenance. Therefore, that which appeals to you as you read is my message, spoken to your outer human consciousness from within, and is but a confirmation of that which the I am of you always knew within, but had not yet translated in definite, tangible terms to your outer consciousness. But I am not your human mind, nor its child, the intellect. They are but the expression of your being, as you are the expression of my being. They are but phases of your human personality, as you are a phase of my divine impersonality. Weigh and study carefully these words. Rise up and free yourself from the domination of your personality, with its self-inflated and self-glorifying mind and intellect, now and for always. For your mind henceforth must be your servant, and the intellect your slave, if my word is to penetrate to your soul consciousness. I am come now to your soul consciousness, which I have quickened expressly in preparation for the reception of my word. Now, if you are strong enough to bear it, if you can put aside all your private personal fancies, beliefs, and opinions, which are but the rubbish you have gathered from the dumping grounds of others, if you are strong enough to cast them all away, then my word will be to you a source of endless joy and blessing. But be prepared to have this personality of yours doubt my word as you read it all along the way, for its very life is threatened, and it knows it cannot live and thrive and longer dominate your thinking, your feelings, your going and coming, as of old, if you take my word into your heart and permit it there to abide. Yes, I am come to you now to make you conscious of my presence, for I have likewise prepared your human mind so that it can, in a measure, comprehend the meaning of me. I have been with you always, but you did not know it. I have purposely led you through the wilderness of books and teachings, of religions and philosophies, keeping ever before your soul's eye the vision of the promised land, feeding you with the manna of the desert, that you might remember and value and long for the bread of the Spirit. Now I have brought you to the river Jordan that separates you from your divine heritage. Now the time has come for you consciously to know me. The time has come for you to cross over into Canaan, the land of milk and honey. Are you ready? Do you want to go? Then follow this my word, which is the ark of my covenant, and you shall go over dry shod. Chapter 2, Be still and know. Now, in order that you may learn to know me, so that you can be sure it is I, your own true self, who speak these words, you must first learn to be still, to quiet your human mind and body and all their activities, so that you no longer are conscious of them. You may not yet be able to do this, but I will teach you how, if you really want to know me and are willing to prove it by trusting me and obeying me in all that I now shall call upon you to do. Listen. Try to imagine the I who speaks throughout these pages as being your higher or divine self, addressing and counseling your human mind and intellect, which you will consider for the moment as a separate personality. Your human mind is so constituted that it cannot accept anything which does not conform with what it has previously experienced or learned, and which its intellect does not consider reasonable. Therefore, in addressing it, you are using such terms and expressions as will most clearly explain to your intellect the truths it must understand before the mind can awaken to the consciousness of your meaning. The fact is, this I is yourself, your real self. Your human mind has heretofore been so engrossed with the task of supplying its intellect and body with all manner of selfish indulgences, that it has never had time to get acquainted with the real you, its true Lord and Master. While you have been so interested in and affected by the pleasures and sufferings of your body and intellect, you have almost come to believe you are your intellect and body, and you have consequently nearly forgotten me, your divine self. I am not your intellect and body, and this message is to teach you that you and I are one. The words I herein speak, and the main burden of these instructions, are to awaken your consciousness to this great fact. But you cannot awaken to this fact until you can get away from the consciousness of this body and intellect, which so long have held you enslaved. You must feel me within before you can know I am there. Now, in order that you can become wholly oblivious of your mind and its thoughts, and your body and its sensations, so that you can feel me within, it is necessary that you studiously obey these my instructions. Sit quiet in a relaxed position, and when wholly at ease, let your mind take in the significance of these words. Be still and know I am God. Without thinking, allow this my divine command to penetrate deep into your soul. Let whatever impressions come to your mind enter at will, without effort or interference on your part. Note carefully their import, for it is I, within, through these impressions, instructing you. Then, when somewhat of their vital significance begins to dawn upon your consciousness, speak these my words, slowly, imperatively, to every cell of your body, to every faculty of your mind, with all the conscious power you possess. Be still, and know I am God. Speak them just as they are herein written, trying to realize that the God of you commands and demands of your mortal self implicit obedience. Study them, search out their hidden potency. Brood over them, carry them with you into your work, whatever it be. Make them the vital, dominating factor in your work, in all your creative thoughts. Say them 1,000 times a day until you have discovered all my innermost meaning, until every cell of your body thrills in joyful response to the command, be still, and instantly obeys. And every vagrant thought hovering around your mind hastens off into nothingness. 4. Then, as the words reverberate through the caverns of your now empty being, then, as the sun of knowing begins to rise on the horizon of your consciousness, then will you feel the swell of a wondrous, strange breath filling you to the extreme of all your mortal members, causing your senses almost to burst with the ecstasy of it. Then will there come surge after surge of a mighty, resistless power rising within you, lifting you almost off the earth. Then will you feel within the glory, the holiness, the majesty of my presence. And then you will know I am God. You, when you have felt me thus in such moments within, when you have tasted of my power, hearkened to my wisdom, and known the ecstasy of my all-embracing love, no disease can touch, no circumstance can weaken, no enemy can conquer. For now you know I am within, and you always hereafter will turn to me in your need, putting all your trust in me, and allowing me to manifest forth my will. And you, when you turn thus to me, will always find me an unfailing and ever-present help in time of need. For I will so fill you with a realization of my presence and of my power that you need only be still and allow me to do whatever you want done. Heal your ills or those of others. Illumine your mind so you can see with my eyes the truth you seek, or perform perfectly the tasks which before seemed almost impossible of accomplishment. But this knowledge, this realization, will not come at once. It may not come for years, and it may come tomorrow. It depends upon no one but you. Not upon your personality with its human desires and human understanding, but upon the I am of you, God within. Who is it that causes the bud to open into the blossom? Who causes the chick to burst its shell? Who decides the day and the hour? It is the conscious, natural act of the intelligence within, my intelligence, directed by my will, bringing to fruition my idea and expressing it forth in the blossom and in the chick. But did the blossom and the chick have anything to do with it? No, only as they submitted or united their wills with mine, and allowed me and my wisdom to determine the hour and the rightness for action, and then only as they obeyed the impulse of my will to make the effort, could they step forth into the new life. You may, with your personality, try 1,000 times, 1,000 times, burst through the shell of your human consciousness. But it will result only, if at all, in a breaking down of the doors I have provided between the world of tangible forms and the realm of intangible dreams. And the door being open, you then no longer can keep out intruders from your private domain without much trouble and suffering. But even this I sometimes permit, that you may gain through such suffering the strength you lack and the wisdom needed to know that not until you yield up all desire for knowledge, for goodness, even for union with me, to benefit self, can you unfold your petals, showing forth my perfect beauty, throw off the shell of your human personality, and step forth into the glorious light of my heavenly kingdom. Therefore I give you these directions now, at the beginning, that you may be learning how to recognize me. For I here promise you, if you follow and strive earnestly to comprehend and obey my instructions herein given, you shall very soon know me, and I will give you to comprehend all of my word, wherever written in book or teaching, in nature, or in your fellow man. If there is much in what herein is written that seems contradictory, seek out my real meaning before discarding it. Do not leave a single paragraph or any one thought in it until all that is suggested becomes clear. But in all your seeking and all your striving, let it be with faith and trust in me, your true self within, and without anxiety about results. For the results are all in my keeping, and I will take care of them. Your doubts and your anxiety are but of the personality, and if allowed to persist, will lead only to failure and disappointment. Chapter 3. I, Life, God. If that which you have read has awakened a response within, and the soul of you yearns for more, then you are ready for what follows. But if you still question or rebel at the seeming assumption of divine authority for what is herein written, your intellect telling you it is but another attempt to beguile your mind with cunning suggestion and subtle sophistry, then you will receive no benefit from these words, for their meaning is as yet hidden from your mortal consciousness, and my word must come to you through other avenues of expression. And it is well if your personality, with its intellect, impels you thus to question and rebel against authority you do not yet know to be mine. But it is really I who cause your personality thus to rebel. For your personality, with its proud sense of individuality, is still needed by me to develop a mind and body strong enough that they can perfectly express me. And until you have become prepared to know me, it is the mission I have given your personality thus to question and rebel. But once you recognize my authority, that moment the undermining of the authority of the personality has begun, and the days of its dominion are numbered, and you will more and more turn to me for help and guidance. Therefore, be not dismayed and read on, and mayhap the recognition will come. But know that you can read or not, as you choose. But whichever you do, it is really I who choose, and not you. For you, who seemingly choose not to read further, I have other plans, and in due season you shall learn that whatever you do, or like or desire, it is I leading you through all the fallacies and illusions of the personality, that you may finally awaken to their unreality, and then turn to me as the one and only reality. Then these words will find a response within. Be still and know I am God. Yes, I am that innermost part of you that sits within, and calmly rates and watches, knowing neither time nor space, for I am the eternal, and fill all space. I watch and wait for you to be done with your petty human follies and weaknesses, with your vain longings, ambitions, and regrets, knowing that will all come in time, and then you will turn to me, weary, discouraged, empty, and humby, and ask me to take the lead, not realizing that I have been leading you all the time. Yes, I sit here within, quietly waiting for this. Yet, while waiting, it was really I who directed all your ways, who inspired all your thoughts and acts, impersonally utilizing and manipulating each, so as eventually to bring you and my other mortal expressions to a final conscious recognition of me. Yes, I have been within always, deep within your heart. I have been with you through your joys and heartaches, your successes and mistakes, through your evil doing, your shame, your crimes against your brother and against God, as you thought. I, whether you went straight ahead, or strayed aside, or stepped backward, it was I who caused you so to do. It was I who urged you on by the glimpse of me in the dim distance I permitted. It was I who lured you aside by a vision of me in some bewitching face, or beautiful body, or intoxicating pleasure, or overpowering ambition. It was I who appeared before you in the garb of sin, or weakness, or greed, or sophistry, and I drove you back into the cold arms of conscience, leaving you to struggle in its shadowy grasp, until you awakened to its impotency, rose up in disgust, and in the inspiration of the new vision, tore off my mask. Yes, it is I who cause you to do all things, and if you can see it, it is I who do all things that you do, and all things that your brother does. For that in you and in him which is I, myself. For I am life. I am that which animates your body, which causes your mind to think, your heart to beat. I am that which attracts to you pain or pleasure, be it of the flesh, the intellect, or the emotions. I am the innermost, the spirit, the animating cause of your being, of all life, of all living things, both visible and invisible. And there is nothing dead, for I, the impersonal one, am all that there is. I am infinite and wholly unconfined. The universe is my body. All intelligence there is emanates from my mind. All the love there is flows from my heart. All the power there is but my will in action. The threefold force, manifesting as all wisdom, all love, all power, or, if you will, as light, heat, and energy, that which holds together all forms, and is back of and in all expressions and phases of life, be those phases creative, cohesive, or destructive, is but the manifestation of myself in the act or state of being. Nothing can be without manifesting and expressing some phase of me, who am not only the builder of all forms, but the dweller in each. In the heart of each I dwell, in the heart of the human, in the heart of the animal, in the heart of the flower, in the heart of the stone. In the heart of each I live and move and have my being, and from out the heart of each I send forth that phase of me I desire to express, and which manifests in the outer world as a stone, a flower, an animal, a man. Is there nothing, then, but this great I? Am I to be permitted no individuality for myself? I hear you ask. No, there is nothing, absolutely nothing, that is not a part of me, controlled and ruled eternally by me, the one infinite reality. As for your so-called individuality, that is nothing but your personality, still seeking to maintain a separate existence. But soon you shall know there is no individuality apart from my individuality, and all personality shall fade away into my divine impersonality. Yes, And you shall soon reach that state of awakening where you will get a glimpse of my impersonality, and you will then desire no individuality, no separation for yourself. For you will see that is but one more illusion of the personality. Chapter 4: Consciousness, Intelligence, Will. Yes, I know the many mixed thoughts that have been crowding into your mind as you read, the doubts and eager questionings, the vague fear that imperceptibly changed into a growing hope that this glimmering of my meaning, which has begun to penetrate the darkness of your human intellect, may shine brighter so you can see clearly the truth which you instinctively feel is hidden beneath my words. Again I say, this I am speaking herein is the real self of you, and in reading these words, it is necessary that you realize it is you, your own self, that is speaking them to your human consciousness, in order fully to comprehend their meaning. And I also repeat, this is the same I am that is the life and spirit animating all living things in the universe, from the tiniest atom to the greatest sun. That this I am is the intelligence in you and in your brother and sister. And that it is likewise the intelligence which causes everything to live and grow and become that which it is their destiny to be. But you cannot yet understand how this I am can be, at one and the same time, the I am of you and the I am of your brother, and also the intelligence of the stone, the plant, and the animal. You will see this, however, if you follow these my words and obey the instructions herein given. For I will soon bring to your consciousness a light that will illumine the deepest recesses of your mind and drive away all the clouds of human misconceptions, ideas, and opinions that now darken your intellect. If you read on and strive earnestly to comprehend my meaning. So listen carefully. I am you, the real self of you, all that you really are. That which you think you are not. That is only an illusion, a shadow of the real you, which is I, your immortal, divine self. I am that point of consciousness, focalized in your human mind, which calls itself I. I am that I. But that which you call your consciousness is in reality my consciousness, thinned down to suit the capacity of your human mind. But it is still my consciousness, and when you can drive from your mind all its human misconceptions, ideas, and opinions, and can cleanse and empty it utterly, so that my consciousness can have a chance to express freely, then you will recognize me, and you will know that you are nothing, being only a focal point of my consciousness, an avenue or medium through which I can express outwardly, in matter, my meaning. But you cannot see this yet, and of course cannot believe it, until I fully prepare your mind by convincing your intellect of its truth. You have been told that each cell of your body has a consciousness and an intelligence of its own. That were it not for this consciousness, it could not do the work it so intelligently does. But each cell is surrounded by millions of other cells, each intelligently doing its own work, and each evidently controlled by the united consciousness of all these cells, forming a group intelligence which directs and controls this work. This group intelligence apparently being the intelligence of the organ which the cells comprising it form. Likewise, there are other group intelligences in other organs, each containing other millions of cells, and all these organs making up your physical body. Now, you know you are the intelligence that directs the work of the organs of your body, whether this directing is done consciously or unconsciously, and that each cell of each organ is really a focal point of this directing intelligence, and that when this intelligence is withdrawn, the cells fall apart, your physical body dies, and exists no more as a living organism. But who is this you who directs and controls the activities of your organs, and consequently of each cell composing them? You cannot say it is your human or personal self who does this, for you personally can of yourself control consciously the action of scarcely a single organ of your body. It must then be this impersonal I am of you, who is you, and yet is not you. Listen. You, the I am of you, are to me what the cell consciousness of your body is to your I am consciousness. You are a cell, as it were, of my body, and your consciousness, as one of my cells, is to me what the consciousness of one of the cells of your body is to you. Therefore it must be that the consciousness of the cell of your body is my consciousness, even as your consciousness is my consciousness, and therefore we must be one in consciousness, the cell, you, and I. You cannot now consciously direct or control a single cell of your body, but when you can, at will, enter into the consciousness of the I am of you, and know its identity with me, then you can control not only every cell of your body, but that of any other body you might wish to control. What happens when your intelligence no longer controls the cells of your body? The body disintegrates, the cells separate, and their work for the time being is finished. But do the cells die or lose consciousness? No, they simply sleep or rest for a period, and after a while unite with other cells and form new combinations, and sooner or later appearing other manifestations of life, perhaps mineral, perhaps vegetable, perhaps animal, showing that they still retain their original consciousness, and but await the action of my will to join together in a new organism, to do the work of the new intelligence through which I desire to manifest. Then apparently this cell consciousness is a consciousness common to all bodies, mineral, vegetable, animal, human, each cell fitted perhaps by experience for a certain general kind of work. Yes, this cell consciousness is common to every cell of every body, no matter what its kind, because it is an impersonal consciousness, having no purpose other than doing the work allotted it. It lives only to work, wherever needed. When through building one form, it takes up the work of building another, under whatever intelligence I desire it to serve. Thus it is likewise with you. You, as one of the cells of my body, have a consciousness that is my consciousness, an intelligence that is my intelligence, even a will that is my will. You have none of these for yourself or of yourself. They are all mine, and for my use only. Now, my consciousness and my intelligence and my will are wholly impersonal, and therefore are common with you and with all the cells of my body, even as they are common with all the cells of your body. I am, and being wholly impersonal, my consciousness, my intelligence and my will, working in you and in the other cells of my body, and which constitute the I am of you and of them, must work impersonally, just as they work impersonally in the cells of your body. Therefore, I, and the I am of you and of your brother, and the consciousness and intelligence of all cells, of all bodies, are one. I am the directing intelligence of all, the animating spirit, the life, the consciousness of all matter, of all substance. And if you can see it, you, the real you, the impersonal you, are in all and are one with all, are in me and are one with me, just as I am in you and in all, and thereby am expressing my reality through you and through all. This will, which you call your will, is likewise no more yours personally than is this consciousness and this intelligence of your mind and of the cells of your body yours. It is but that small portion of my will which I permit the personal you to use. Just as fast as you awaken to a recognition of a certain power or faculty within you, and begin consciously to use it, do I allow you that much more of my infinite power. All power and its use is but so much recognition and understanding of the use of my will. Your will and all your powers are only phases of my will, which I thin down to suit your capacity to use it. Were I to entrust you with the full power of my will before you knew how consciously to use it, it would annihilate your body utterly. To test your strength, and more often to show you what the misuse of my power does to you, I at times allow you to commit a sin, so-called, or to make a mistake. I even permit you to become inflated with the sense of my presence within you, when it manifests as a consciousness of my power, my intelligence, my love. And I let you take these and use them for your own private purposes. But not for long, for not being strong enough to control them, they soon take the bit in their teeth, run away with you, throw you down in the mire, and disappear from your consciousness for the time being. But always I am there to pick you up after the fall, although you do not know it at the time, first shaming you, then straightening you out, and starting you onward again, by pointing out the reason of your fall. And finally, when you are sufficiently humbled, causing you to see that these powers accruing to you by the conscious use of my will, my intelligence, and my love, are allowed you only for use in my service, and not at all for your own personal ends. Do the cells of your body, the muscles of your arm, think to set themselves up as having a separate will from your will, or a separate intelligence from your intelligence? No, they know no intelligence but yours, no will but yours. After a while, it will be that you will realize you are only one of the cells of my body, and that your will is not your will, but mine, that what consciousness and what intelligence you have are mine wholly, and that there is no such person as you personally, being only a physical form containing a human brain, which I created for the purpose of expressing in matter an idea, a certain phase of which I could express best only in that particular form. All this may be difficult for you now to accept, and you may protest very strenuously that it cannot be, that every instinct of your nature rebels against such yielding and subordinating yourself to an unseen and unknown power, however impersonal or divine. But fear not, it is only your personality that thus rebels. If you continue to follow and study my words, all will soon be made clear, and I will surely open up to your inner understanding many wonderful truths that now are impossible for you to comprehend. And your soul will rejoice and sing glad praises, and you will bless these words for the message they bring. Chapter 5. The Key. You may not even yet know I am, or believe that I am really you, or that I am likewise your brother and your sister, and that you are all parts of me and one with me. You may not realize that the souls of you and your brother and sister, the only real and imperishable parts of the mortal you, are but different phases of me in expression in what is called nature. Likewise, you may not realize that you and your brothers and sisters are phases or attributes of my divine nature, just as your human personality, with its mortal body, mind, and intellect, is a phase of your human nature. No, you do not realize this yet, but I speak of it now, that you may know the signs when they begin to appear in your consciousness, as they surely will. But in order to recognize these signs, all that now follows must be carefully considered and studied, and should not be passed by, and to my meaning, at least in some degree, is grasped. And now the sun goes the none, sun go the none. Once you understand fully the principle I here set down, then all my message will become clear and comprehensible. I first give you the key that will unlock every mystery that now hides from you the secret of my being. This key, when you once know how to use it, will open the door to all wisdom and all power in heaven and earth. Yea, it will open the door to the kingdom of heaven, and then you have but to enter in to become consciously one with me. This key is to think, is to create, or, as you think in your heart, so is it with you. Stop and meditate on this until it is firmly fixed in your mind. A thinker is a creator. A thinker lives in a world of his own conscious creation. When you once know how to think, you can create at will anything you wish, whether it be a new personality, a new environment, or a new world. Let us see if you cannot grasp some of the truths hidden and controlled by this key. You have been shown how all consciousness is one, and how it is all my consciousness, and yet is also yours, and likewise that of the animal, the plant, the stone, and the invisible cell. You have seen how this consciousness is controlled by my will, which causes the invisible cells to unite and form the various organisms for the expression and use of the different centers of intelligence through which I desire to express. But you cannot yet see how you can direct and control the consciousness of the cells of your own body, not to speak of those of other bodies, even if you and I and they are all one in consciousness and intelligence. By paying especial attention to what follows, however, you now may be enabled to see this. Have you ever taken the pains to study out what consciousness is? How it seems to be an impersonal state of awareness, of waiting to serve or to be directed or used by some power latent in and intimately related to itself. How man seems to be merely the highest type of organism containing this consciousness, which is directed and used by this power within itself, and that this power, latent in man's consciousness and in all consciousness, is nothing but will, my will. For you know that all power is but the manifestation of my will. Now you have been told that in the beginning I created man in my image and likeness, after which I breathed into him the breath of life, and he became a living soul. By creating man in my image and likeness, I created an organism capable of expressing all of my consciousness and all of my will, which means likewise all of my power, my intelligence, and my love. I therefore made it perfect in the beginning, patterning it after my own perfection. When I breathed into man's organism my breath, it became alive with me. For then it was I who breathed into it my will, not from without, but from within, from the kingdom of heaven within, where always I am. Ever afterward I lived and had my being within man, for I created him in my image and likeness, only for that purpose. The proof of this is, man does not and cannot breathe of himself. Something far greater than his conscious, natural self lives in his body and breathes through his lungs. A mighty power within his body thus uses the lungs, even as it uses the heart, to force the blood containing the life it drew through the lungs to every cell of the body, as it uses the stomach and other organs to digest and assimilate food, to make blood, tissue, hair, and bone, as it uses the brain, the tongue, the hands and feet, to think and say and do everything that man does. This power is my will to be and live in man. Therefore, whatever man is, I am, and whatever man does, or you do, I do, and whatever you say or think, it is I who say or think it through your organism. You were also told that when man was thus possessed of my breath, he was given dominion over all the kingdoms of the earth. This is not true. Which means he was made Lord of the earth, the sea, the air, and the ethers, and all beings living in all these kingdoms paid him homage and were subject to his will. This naturally was so, for I, within man's consciousness, and within all consciousness, am always manifesting my will. And I, the Lord and ruler of man's organism, am likewise the Lord and ruler of all organisms in which consciousness dwells. And as all consciousness is my consciousness, and it dwells wherever there is life, and as there is no substance in which there is not life, then my consciousness must be in everything, in earth, water, air, and fire, and therefore must fill all space. In fact, it is space, or that which man calls space. Then my will, being the power latent in all consciousness, must reach everywhere. And therefore man's will, which is but a focalization of my will, must likewise reach everywhere, and hence the consciousness of all organisms, including his own, is subject to man's direction and control. All it needs is for him consciously to realize this, realize that I, the impersonal self within him, am constantly directing, controlling, and using the consciousness of all organisms every moment of every day of his life. And I am doing this by and through his thinking. I am doing this with and through man's organism. Man thinks he thinks, but it is I, the real I of him, who think through his organism. And through this thinking and his spoken word, I accomplish all that man does, and make man and his world all that they are. It makes no difference if man and his world are not what he supposes they are. They are just what I created them to be for my purpose. But if I do all the thinking, man does not and cannot think, I hear you say. Yes, here seems a mystery, but it will be revealed to you if you note carefully what follows. For I am going to teach you, men, how to think. Chapter 6. Thinking and Creating. And I have likewise caused them to appear to man as what he thinks they are. This also to suit my purpose, and to fulfill the law of creating. Let us see if this is not true. If you believe a thing is so, is not that thing really so to you? Is it not true that something seems real to you, like some so-called sin or evil, some sorrow, trouble, or worry, only because your thinking or believing it so makes it such. Others might see that same thing entirely differently, and might think your view of it foolish, might they not? If this is true, then your body, your personality, your character, your environment, your world are what they appear to be to you, because you have thought them into their present state. Therefore, you can change them by the same process if they do not please you. You can make them whatever you will by thinking them so. Can you not? But how can one do real thinking, conscious thinking, so as to bring about this change, you ask? First, know that I, your real self, purposely brought to your attention those things which now are displeasing, and cause you to think of them as being what they now seem to be. And I alone, am thus preparing your human mind, so that, when you turn within to me in abiding faith and trust, I can enable you to see and bring into outer manifestation the reality of these things which now seem so unsatisfactory. For I bring to you everything that, by its outer appearance, can attract or lure your human mind onward in its earthly search, in order to teach you of the illusory nature of all outer appearance of material things to the human mind, and of the fallibility of all human understanding, so that you will turn finally within to me and my wisdom as the one and only interpreter and guide. And when you have turned thus within to me, I will open your eyes and cause you to see that the only way you can ever bring about this change in thinking is by first changing your attitude toward all these things you now think are not what they ought to be. That is, if they are unsatisfactory or obnoxious to you, and affect you so as to cause discomfort of body or disturbance of mind, why, stop thinking that they can so affect or disturb you. For who is the master? Your body, your mind, or you, the I am within? Then why not show you are master by thinking the true things the I am within you wishes you to think? It is only by your thinking these other things, by allowing these inharmonious thoughts to enter your mind, and by so doing, giving them the power to affect or disturb you, that they have any such influence over you. When you stop thinking this power into them, and turn within to me, and allow me to direct your thinking, they will at once disappear from your consciousness, and dissolve into the nothingness from which you created them by your thinking. When you are willing to do this, then, and only then, are you ready to receive truth, and, by proper conscious thinking, directed by me, to create the true and permanent things I within wish you to create. Then, when you can thus distinguish the true from the false, the real from the seeming, your conscious thinking will be as potent to create all things you desire as has been your unconscious thinking in the past, in creating those things you once desired but now find obnoxious. For it was by your unconscious thinking, or thinking unconscious of the control your desires exercised over your creative power, that your world and your life are now what you once desired them to be. Have you ever studied and analyzed the process of the working of your mind when an idea fertile with possibilities appears? Have you noticed the relation that desire bears to such an idea, and how, through thinking, that idea is finally brought to actual fruition? Let us study this relation and process. There is always first the idea, not considering for the moment the necessity or occasion for its appearance. And it matters not whence the idea comes, whether from within or without, for it is always I who inspire it, or cause it to impress your consciousness at the particular moment it does. Then, just to the extent that you grow quiet and focus your attention upon that idea, stilling all the activities of your mind and eliminating all other ideas and thoughts from your consciousness, so that the idea can have full sway, do I illumine your mind and cause to unfold before your mental gaze the various phases and possibilities contained within that idea. This takes place, however, up to this point, without any volition on your part, other than focusing or concentrating your attention upon the idea. But once I have given your human mind a view of its possibilities, and have enlisted your interest, then does your human personality take up its task. For as I created and inspired the idea in your mind, so did I cause that idea to fructify therein, and give birth to desire, desire to bring into outer manifestation all the possibilities of the idea. Desire thus becoming the mortal agent of my will, and supplying the motive power, just as the human personality is the mortal instrument used to confine and focus that power. Yes, all ideas and all desires come thus from me. They are my ideas and my desires which I inspire in your mind and heart, in order to bring them through you into outer manifestation. You have no ideas of your own, and could not possibly have a desire that came from other than me, for I am all there is. Therefore, all desires are good, and when thus understood, unfailingly come into speedy and complete fulfillment. You may wrongly interpret my desires, my urges from within, and seek to use them for your own selfish purposes. But even while permitting this, they still fulfill my purpose. For it is only by letting you misuse my gifts, and through the suffering such misuse brings, for misuse and suffering are my purifying agents, that I can make you into the clean and selfless channel I require for the perfect expression of my ideas. We have, then, first the idea in the mind, then the desire to bring the idea into outer manifestation. So much for the relation. Now for the process of realization. In accordance with the definiteness with which the picture of the idea is held in the mind, and the extent to which the idea possesses the personality, does its creative power, impelled by desire, proceed with its work. This it does by compelling the mortal mind to think out or to imagine, to image, in other words, to build mental forms into which I can pour, as into a vacuum, the impersonal, elemental, vital substance of the idea, which, when the word is spoken, either silently or audibly, consciously or unconsciously, at once begins to materialize itself, by first directing and controlling the consciousness and all the activities of both mind and body, and of all minds and all bodies connected with or related to the idea. For remember, all consciousness and all minds and all bodies are mine, and are not separated, but are one and wholly impersonal. And then, by so attracting, directing, shaping, and molding conditions, things, and events, the idea, sooner or later, actually comes forth into definite, tangible manifestation. So it is that everything, every condition, every event that has ever transpired was first an idea in the mind. It was by desiring, by thinking, and by speaking forth the word that these ideas came into visible manifestation. Think this out and prove it for yourself. This you can do, if you will, by taking any idea that comes and following it out through the above process to realization, or by tracing back any feat you have accomplished any picture you have painted, any machine you have invented, or any particular thing or condition now existing, to the idea from which it sprang. This is the plan and process of all true thinking, and therefore of all creation. Listen, you have now, and always have had, through this power of thinking, dominion over all the kingdoms of the earth. And if you but know it, you have now, this moment, only to think and speak the word, realizing your power, and that I, God, your omniscient, omnipresent, omnipotent self, will bring about the results. And the waiting consciousness of the invisible cells of all matter, upon which your will and attention become focused, which waiting consciousness is my consciousness, remember, will begin immediately to obey and do exactly according to the image or plans you have prepared by your thinking. For all things are made by the Word, and without the Word was not anything made that was made. When you can once realize this, and can know that the I Am consciousness within you is one with the consciousness of all animate and inanimate matter, and that its will is one with your will, which is my will, and that all your desires are my desires, then you will begin to know and feel me within, and will acknowledge the power and glory of my idea, which is eternally expressing itself impersonally through you. But it is first wholly necessary that you learn how to think, how to know your thoughts, those directed by me, from the thoughts of others, how to trace thoughts back to their source, and to banish undesirable ones at will from your consciousness. And finally, how to control and utilize your desires, so that they will always serve you, instead of your being a slave to them. You have within you all possibilities, for I am there. My idea must express, and it must express through you. It will express itself perfectly, if you but let it, if you will only still your human mind, put aside all personal ideas, beliefs, and opinions, and let it flow forth. All you need to do is to turn within to me, and let me direct your thinking and your desires. Let me express whatever I will, with you personally accepting and doing what I desire you to do. Then your desires will come true. Your life will become one grand harmony, your world a heaven, and yourself one with myself. When you have begun to realize this, and have glimpsed somewhat of its inner meaning, then you will be ready to grasp the real import of what follows. Chapter 7. The Word. We will now take the key and show you how the plan and process just described is the one by which the world came into existence, how the earth and all that is in it and on it, including yourself and your brothers and sisters, are but the outer manifestations of an idea, my idea, which is being thought into life expression. First, know that I, the Creator, am the original thinker, the one and only thinker. As previously stated, man does not truly think. It is I who think through his organism. Man believes he thinks, but before he has awakened to a realization of me within, he only takes the thoughts I attract to, or inspire in, his mind. Mistaking their real meaning and purpose, he places a personal construction upon them and, through the selfish desires thus aroused, creates for himself all his troubles and brings upon himself all his woes. But these apparent mistakes, misconstructions, and interferences of man are, in reality, only the obstacles I place in his way and be overcome, so that he may, through the overcoming, finally develop a body and mind strong and clean, capable of expressing perfectly and consciously this idea of mine eternally working within his soul. Man, then, is only the organism I am thus preparing, through which to manifest the perfection of my idea. He provides the personality with its body, mind, and intellect, through which I can perfectly express this idea, the physical brain through which I can think and speak it into outer manifestation. I plant in man's brain an idea, any idea. That idea would grow, mature, and quickly ripen into complete outer fruition or manifestation, if man would only let it, would give his mind and all its thoughts, his heart and all its desires wholly over to me, and let me come forth as the perfect fulfillment of that idea. I will now plant in your brain an idea. May it grow, mature, and ripen into the glorious harvest of wisdom which awaits you, if you let me direct its growth and expression through you. In one of my other revelations, called the Bible, you are told much about the Word, but very few, even the most learned Bible students, comprehend clearly my meaning. You are told, "In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. The same was in the beginning with God. All things were made by him, by the Word, and without him the Word was not anything made that was made. You shall learn herein how my Word was in the beginning, how it was with me, and how it was I, myself, how all things were made by me and by my Word, and that without me and my Word nothing was made that now exists." Now, a word to the human understanding is a symbol of an idea. That is, it stands for, embodies, and represents an idea. You are a word, a symbol of an idea, if you can see it. So is a diamond, a violet, a horse. When you can discern the idea behind the symbol, then you know the soul, or the reality of the manifestation appearing as a man, a diamond, a horse, a violet. Hence, a word, as used in the above quotation, means an idea latent and unmanifest, however, waiting to be expressed, or thought and spoken forth in some form or another. The Word that was in the beginning, and that was with me, was then not only an idea, but it was my idea of myself in expression in a new state or condition, which you call earth life. This idea was I, myself, because it was part of me, being as yet latent and unmanifest within me, for it was of the substance and essence of my being, which is itself an idea, the one original idea. All things were made by me, by the vitalized action of this, my idea, being thought and spoken into expression. And nothing has been, or ever can be, expressed in earth life without having my idea as the primary and fundamental cause and principle of its being. This, my idea, therefore, is now in the process of unfoldment, or of being thought into outer expression. Some call it evolution. Just as is the flower, when the bud puts forth from the stalk and finally opens into the blossom, obeying the urge to express my idea hidden within its soul. Just so will I develop and unfold all my mediums of expression, which shall finally, unitedly, and completely picture forth my idea from out their souls in all the glory of its perfection. At present, these mediums are of such nature that they require many languages of many types, from the simplest to the most complex, composed of almost an infinite number of words, to express my idea. But when I shall have completely thought out my idea, or shall have perfected my many mediums of expression, then shall my idea shine forth in every word, each, in fact, being a perfect part or phase of my idea, all so chosen and arranged that they will really be, as one word, radiating the sublime significance of my meaning. Then shall all languages have melted, merged, into one language, and all words into one word. For all mediums shall have become flesh, and all flesh shall have become one flesh, the now perfected medium for the complete expression in one word of my idea, myself. Then shall myself, now capable of being expressed by these perfected words, shine through its medium of expression, through the personalities, their bodies, minds, and intellects, and the word shall have become flesh, or shall be the flesh. Which means that all words, through the regenerative power of my idea within, shall have evolved through the flesh, transmuting and spiritualizing it, and making it so transparent and pure that the personality will have nothing more of earth nature left in it to hinder impersonal expression, enabling myself, therefore, to shine forth perfectly and become fully manifest, thus amalgamating once more all words and all flesh into one word, the Word, which was in the beginning, and which then will shine through all created flesh as the Son of glory, the Christ of God. This is the plan and purpose of my creation and of all manifested things. A glimpse of the process of my creation, or of my thinking my idea of myself into earth expression, will be given in what follows. Chapter 8. My Idea. In the beginning, after an incalculable rest of eons, at the dawn of a new cosmic day, when the world consciousness was just awakening, and the stillness of cosmic night yet prevailed, I, the thinker, conceived my idea. This, my idea of myself in manifestation in a new condition, called earth expression, I saw completely pictured in the mirror of my omniscient mind. In this mirror, I saw the real earth shining brilliantly in the cosmos, a perfect sphere where all the infinite faces, attributes, and powers of my divine nature were finding perfect expression through the medium of angels of light, living messengers of my will, my word in the flesh, even as it is in the celestial world of the eternal. I saw myself manifesting outwardly as nature, and my life as the vivifying and evolving principle behind all manifestation. I saw love, the divine creative power, as the animating and vitalizing force behind all life, and my desire to give perfect expression to that love as the potential and real cause and reason for the birth of my idea. All this I saw mirrored in my all-seeing and all-knowing mind, which could see and reflect only the soul of things or their reality. Therefore, my question to your garden bar, the is, the real used, expecting you needed. It is the real substance of my all-comprehending and all-including mind, whose informing and vitalizing center is everywhere, and its limit and circumference nowhere. Within the realm of my mind alone, I live, move, and have my being. It both contains and fills all things, and its every vibration and manifestation are but the expression of some phase of my being. Being is expressing or outpressing. You cannot imagine being without expression. Therefore, I, all that is, am expressing, constantly and continuously expressing. Expressing what? What else could I express if I am all that is, but myself? You cannot yet see or comprehend me, myself, but you can comprehend when I inspire you with an idea. Therefore, if I am all there is, that idea, which is direct from me, must be part of, or a phase of, myself in being or expression. Any idea once born within the realm of my mind, as has been shown, immediately becomes a reality, for in the eternality of my being, time does not exist. With you, however, an idea first creates desire, a desire to express that idea. Then desire compels thinking, thinking causes action, and action produces results, the idea in actual outer manifestation. But in reality, I have no desire, for I am all things, and all things are of me. I need only to think and speak the word to produce results. Yet that desire you feel within you is from me, because it is born of my idea, which I implanted in your mind, only that it might come forth into expression through you. Indeed, whatever you desire is I, knocking at the door of your mind, announcing my purpose of manifesting myself in you, or through you, in the particular form indicated by that desire. What is called desire in human personalities is but the necessary action of my will, pushing forth the expression of my idea into outer manifestation or being. What to you would seem to be in me a desire for expression is but the necessity of my idea of myself to be or to express itself. Therefore, every real desire you feel, every desire of your heart, comes from me and must, of necessity, sometime, in some shape or other, be fulfilled. But as I have no desire, because I am all things, once this idea of expressing myself in this new condition was born, I had but to think, that is, to concentrate or focus my attention upon my idea, and will it to come forth into expression. Or, as is told in my other revelation, to speak the creative word. At once, the cosmic forces of my being, set in vibration by the concentrating of my will, proceeded to attract the necessary elements from the eternal storehouse of my mind, and, with my idea as a nucleus, combined, formed, and shaped these elements into what is called a thought form of a planet, filling it with my life substance, my consciousness, and endowing it with all the potentialities of my being. But this act of thinking produced only a vitalized thought form of a planet, and its manifestation was still in a nebulous state in the thought realm. From a thought form, however, the quickening power of the idea within, with my will focused upon it, proceeded to mold, fashion, and gradually solidify into material form the various elements of life substance, until my idea finally shone forth in substantial manifestation in the world of visible forms as the planet Earth, a medium ready for living expression, and now capable of both containing and expressing me. This was the material body prepared by my thinking, in which already dwelt all the potential nature of my being, by reason of the informing power of my idea within. The next stage was the development and preparation of avenues, or mediums, through which I could express the manifold phases, possibilities, and powers of my idea. The outward evidence of this was what is known as the mineral, vegetable, and animal kingdoms, which, each in turn, as it came into manifestation, gradually unfolded higher and more complex states of consciousness that enabled me more and more clearly to express the infinite phases and variety of my nature. It was at this stage that I looked upon my creation, as stated in my other revelation, and saw that it was good. But there yet remained the final and culminating medium of expression. Up to this point, while each perfectly expressed some phase of my nature, all existing mediums and avenues were unconscious of me, and were mediums of expression only as a wire is a medium for conducting heat, light, and power. The conditions were now ripe, however, for the creation of mediums through which my divine attributes could find conscious expression, conscious not only of their relationship to me, but of their ability and power to express my idea. It was at this moment in time that you and your brothers and sisters were born into existence as human expressions, coming into manifestation as you did, similarly with all other mediums, in response to my concentrated thought, in which I saw all the infinite variety of my attributes in actual expression in individualized forms, each manifesting in predominance some particular phase of my being, and each conscious of me, its creator and expresser. I saw you in perfect expression, even as I see you now, the real you, an attribute of myself, perfect. For in reality, you are an angel of light, one of my thought rays, an attribute of my being, ensouled in earth conditions, with no other purpose, which is no purpose at all, but a necessity of my being, but the final, complete expression of my idea. In the eternal, there is no time, space, or individuality, and it is only by reason of the phenomenon of thought being born from the womb of mind into the world of matter that the illusions of time, space, and individuality occur. The thought, or creature, acquiring the consciousness of separateness from its thinker or creator. So it was then that the first tendency to think yourself as separate from me was born. But the complete consciousness of separation did not become established until long after. In the beginning, when you thus first entered into earth expression, obeying the impulse I had set forth through my concentrated thought, you, one of my attributes, surrounded or closed yourself with my idea of myself in expression as the particular attribute you represented, you being the animating force of that idea. In other words, my idea of myself, expressing that particular attribute, then became the soul of your particular expression. But that idea or soul is not you, remember, for you are really a part of me, being myself in expression through the medium of that particular attribute. Having clothed yourself with my idea, this idea then, through the necessity of its being, immediately began to attract to itself the necessary thought substance requisite for the expression of that particular attribute, and to build and shape it into my image and likeness. It thus became a holy temple, filled with my living presence, because inhabited by you, one of my divine attributes. This temple, being in my image and likeness, and composed of my thought substance, surrounding and clothing my idea, is consequently your real body. It is therefore indestructible, immortal, perfect. It is my complete, imagined, imaged in thought, containing my living essence, awaiting the time when it can come into outer expression and take on material form. So now we have 1. I am, expressing as you, one of my divine attributes. 2. My idea of you, one of my attributes, expressing in earth conditions, or your soul. 3. My imaged thought of you, forming the temple of your soul, or your soul body, in which you dwell. These 3 make up the divine or impersonal part of you, the immortal 3-in-1. You, my latent yet completely formulated thought, shaped in my image and likeness, as yet unquickened, and therefore having no connection with your human personality, which has not yet been born. Chapter 9. The Garden of Eden. Your human personality, the self you know as you, with its desires, ambitions, and imagined powers, its love of life, possessions, or being thought wise or good, is merely your mortal personality. This self was born only to die as a separate identity, and, as such, has no more reality or permanence than a leaf, snow, or cloud. Yes, you will be brought face to face with that petty personal self, and will see, with perfect clarity, all its selfishness, illusions, and human vanities. And then, if you turn to me with simple faith and trust, you will learn that it is I, the infinite, impersonal part of you, abiding always within, who points out these illusions. These illusions of the personality have, for ages, separated you in consciousness from me, your glorious, divine self. This realization will surely come when you recognize that this message is from me, and when you determine that it shall be. Whom I inspire with such determination, I will cause every illusion in time to disappear, and you shall truly know me. The exercise of your mind along these abstract lines will not harm you. Rather, it is what your mind needs. Only when you grasp my meaning from ideas presented externally can you perceive and correctly interpret my idea when I inspire you from within. I am preparing your mind not to gain more earthly knowledge, but so that you can receive and give forth my heavenly knowledge to those I bring to you for that purpose. With a prayer to me, your real self, your Father in heaven, that true realization may come, read carefully what follows. We have now arrived at the stage of my idea's unfoldment, where the I am of you manifesting in your immortal soul body, or in the thought image created by my thinking, is ready to take on a substantial form suitable for earth expression of my attributes. This change from a mental to a mortal form follows the process of all creation and is described in the Bible. I formed man of the dust of the ground and breathed into his nostrils the breath of life, and man became a living soul. Let me explain. The quickening power within my idea, your soul, attracted to itself the elements of life, substance, dust, and, atom by atom, cell by cell, molded and shaped them according to the thought image composing your soul body. This process formed an earthly outer covering until your mortal form became perceptible, at first to the psychic sense, then gradually to the physical sense. When all was ready for this cyclic moment, you, my attitude, breathed into and through your body the breath of life from within, making your first appearance on earth as a human being, a living soul, my idea now able to express consciously through a suitable earth medium. Contained within you were all my attitudes, all my powers, and all my possibilities. Thus, all the mediums for the earth expression of my idea were now manifest. You hope now, one, into the world of terror and with, one old and dash of setic, to show set of set for occasion scrap. This is why you and your brothers and sisters came into human expression, yet while in human form, your expression remained entirely impersonal. Though self-conscious, you still looked wholly to me within for inspiration and guidance. This was the first condition into which you awakened, the Edenic state, or dwelling in the Garden of Eden. This Edenic state represents the celestial phase of impersonal consciousness, the state in which you were still consciously one with me, though confined in a mortal medium of expression. Now, I shall not go into all details about why it became necessary to drive you, manifesting as humanity, out of the garden. It suffices to understand the part desire plays in earth expression and its relation to my will. Desire centers your interest in outer things and can make you forget me within. You were first caused to fall into a deep sleep at the close of a cosmic day, dreaming that you had awakened. In reality, you remained asleep, and everything from that time, including earthly events and conditions, has been a dream. You will fully awaken only when humanity becomes wholly conscious of me within, and finds itself no longer outwardly one, but two. One active, thinking, aggressive part, the man, and one passive, feeling receptive part, the womb man or woman. Earthly influences were necessary to draw your consciousness from celestial delights, holding it in this dream condition to develop a mortal mind. Through its natural selfish tendencies, you became centered upon your earthly mission of mortal expression. Desire, the mortal agent of my will, was generated in the passive, feeling, receptive part to supply motives and power for the complete expression of my attributes on earth. Thus, desire cast its spell over you, keeping the celestial or impersonal nature deep in sleep, so that, through free but ignorant use of my will, you could taste and fully eat the fruit of the so-called tree of knowledge, of good and evil. Through this eating, you learn to discriminate and know the fruit for what it really is, acquiring the strength to use this knowledge wisely and perfectly in the expression of my idea. Through this process, you became attached to the earthly dream, gradually recognizing the duality of your being, thinking, and feeling parts, experiencing fear, shame, and a sense of separation from me. Now you see why it had to be. Humanity had to leave the Edenic state of impersonal consciousness and lose itself in the earthly dream to create a body and develop a personal or self-consciousness capable of fully expressing my perfection. Thus, your human personality was born. Since then, I have impelled you to nourish and strengthen it, filling you with longings, hopes, ambitions, and desires, human phases of my will, preparing a medium capable of perfectly expressing my attributes on earth. So I spoke the word and drove you from the Garden of Eden, clothing you with a coat of skin, or flesh, the same as other animals. In this way, you, my attribute, were given a suitable organism for earthly expression. Flesh provided the form necessary for my idea to quicken into active life, and it gave you the power to express yourself through a definite organism, using words. In the impersonal, words are unnecessary. Ideas alone exist and express. But in the earthly dream, every expression needed a form that could be heard, seen, felt, smelled, or tasted, to be clearly apprehended. Organisms were therefore provided for the dual purpose of expression and understanding. As my idea unfolded after your expulsion from Eden, you one of my divine attributes, dwelling in my idea of that attribute and manifesting outwardly in earthly words, were impelled by my will in the guise of desire. You multiplied and spread over the earth, quickening dormant intelligence in all life and inspiring fuller expression of each phase of my idea. Thus arose the various languages of earth, each containing many words, all born of desire to express my idea in earthly terms. Yet the more the human mind strove to express my idea in words, the greater the failure. In time, the great awakening will come. All words will be recognized as symbols of one idea, and all ideas as phases of my one idea, my idea of myself in expression. All desire to express without the consciousness that my will is the sole source of inspiration is futile. Likewise, any act performed without losing self-consciousness of your personality and centering entirely in me is vain, ending only in failure, disappointment, and humiliation. Chapter 10. Good and Evil. In the Garden of Eden, where you dwelled before beginning your earthly mission, there grew a tree whose fruit is called the knowledge of good and evil. While in this garden, you were wholly impersonal, for you had not yet tasted of this fruit. But once you yielded to desire, the earthly agent of my will, whose purpose is to make you eat this fruit, the moment you partook, you descended or fell, leaving your Edenic state. Like a chick breaking from its shell, or a rose unfurling from its bud, you entered conditions altogether new and strange. No longer did you have dominion over the lower kingdoms to supply your wants. Instead, you had to till the ground, to bring forth its fruit, and by the sweat of your brow earn your bread. Having assumed this earthly mission, it became necessary to enter fully into all conditions of earth life, to develop a mind and perfect a body capable of expressing perfectly my idea, the true reason for your entry into this dream condition. Having stepped out of your impersonal Edenic estate, you allowed desire to lead you. You were no longer capable of seeing the reality or soul of things. Wearing a physical body, with a human brain influenced by desire, you created a veil over your soul consciousness. The light of truth could not penetrate. Everything appeared falsely colored and distorted to your human understanding. In this dream state, you perceived all things dimly, as through a mist. You could not see reality, but only misty appearances, which you mistook for the real things themselves. This applied to everything, animate and inanimate, your own self and others around you. Mistaking shadows for substance, you assumed the world was composed of these illusions. This mist was the result of the light of truth being unable to pass through the human intellect. The intellect, controlled by desire, acted as an imperfect lens, twisting and obscuring every image, idea, and impulse I inspired from within or attracted from without. All this I allowed intentionally, through desire, to lead you into the heart of earth conditions. While this false vision caused missteps, suffering, and confusion, and you temporarily forgot me, your impersonal self. It was necessary. Only through losing memory of your divine estate and focusing on earthly conditions could I develop your human mind, will, faculties, and body to become a perfect instrument for expressing my idea on earth. Through mistakes, trials, and suffering, desire produced the idea of evil in your mind, and when troubles subsided, the idea of good. You attributed these qualities to conditions according to whether they satisfied desire, my agent within you. Yet all these experiences were created by desire to quicken specific soul faculties, enabling you to recognize the truth I wish to impress upon your consciousness. The apparent evil, the outwardly alluring but ultimately harmful aspect of the fruit, led to disillusionment, shame, and humility, turning you back to me, your true self. The apparent good, the pleasurable and beneficial aspect, allowed you to enjoy its natural effects and receive the blessings of my loving guidance. All this, led by desire, was only your human personality acting as a vehicle. The real you, the impersonal self, was training and developing it to become a perfect instrument for expressing my idea. You consumed the fruit, learned from its consequences, and eventually discerned its essence. From this process, you came to understand that good and evil have no independent existence. They are relative terms describing conditions from different perspectives or different outer aspects of a central inner truth. The reality you sought to know, be, and express remained the same. Over the ages, you have gradually shed layer after layer of human consciousness, dissipating the mist created by the intellect. You have subjugated, controlled, and spiritualized it, clarifying it to see occasional glimpses of me, the one great reality within all things. All this time, you, the omniscient, impersonal I Am, have consciously guided this process. Not for mere knowledge of earthly things, but so that you might manifest my perfect idea on earth, as you now manifest it in the impersonal estate, your heavenly home. Remember, you are the great impersonal I, eternally the same within, though ever-changing outwardly. The endless flow of the seasons, the sowing of spring, the rest of summer, the harvest of autumn, and the peace of winter, year after year, life after life, age after age, are the inbreathing and outbreathing of my idea. I inspire it through the earth, through you, my attribute, and through all my other attributes, unfolding the perfection of my nature in outer manifestation. Yes, I am doing this through you, because you are an expression of me. Only through you, my attribute, can I express myself. I am because you are. You are because I am expressing myself. I am in you as the oak is in the acorn. You are I as the sunbeam is the sun. You are a phase of me in expression. You, one of my divine attributes, eternally strive to express my perfection through your mortal personality. Like an artist struggling to depict a perfect vision with crude brushes and colors, so you see me within yourself and know we are one. Yet the human body, mortal mind, and imperfect intellect prevent perfect expression. Yet I created your body, mind, and intellect to express myself. The body reflects my perfection, the mind receives my inspiration, and the intellect interprets my ideas. Distracted by earthly uses of these instruments, You have forgotten me, the one and only reality within. But soon the outward distractions will fade, and my reality shall be revealed unto you in all its glory. Yet remember, the revelation alone is not enough. Unless what I reveal becomes the bread of life to you, you must live and manifest the life it reveals. Chapter 11. Use. I have not revealed all the details of how and why these things occur, because I reserve the fuller vision for when you call upon me and are capable of receiving it. Then I will inspire within you a far more comprehensive understanding of the unfoldment and development of my divine idea and its perfected expression than is presently described. If I were to explain the full meaning before you were ready, you would neither believe my words nor comprehend their inner application and use. Therefore, as I awaken in you the realization that I am within, and your human consciousness gradually becomes an impersonal channel through which I can express, I will reveal to you the reality of my idea, dispelling one by one the illusions that have hidden me from you. This will enable me to manifest my heavenly attributes through you, on earth in their humanly divine perfection. Thus far, I have given you only a glimpse of my reality. As that which has been revealed becomes clear, even more will be opened to you from within, far more wonderful than you now perceive. When my idea fully shines through its mantle of flesh, it will compel you to glorify me far beyond anything your human mind or intellect currently conceives as God. Before you can consciously grasp this, you and your human personality must make it possible for me to reveal it. Turn to me as the one and only source, bringing to me your mind and heart empty of self, as simple and trusting as a child's. Only then, when nothing of the personal consciousness remains to block me, can I fill you completely and point out the glories of my real meaning, for which this entire message is but the outer preparation. Soon you will think my thoughts and perceive that I am speaking directly within your human consciousness. You will no longer need this book or any other outer revelation to understand my meaning. For am I not within you? Am I not you? Are and of. Then all things shall be yours, as they are mine, being only the outward expression of my idea, existing solely by the consciousness I gave them when I thought them into being. It is all a matter of consciousness, your conscious thinking. You are separated from me only because you believe you are. Your mind is a focal point of my mind. If you knew it, what you call your consciousness even is my consciousness. You cannot think, breathe, or exist without my consciousness in you. Believe that we are not separated, that we are one, I within you, and you within me. Imagine this with determination, and the moment you are conscious of it, you are with me in heaven. You are what you believe you are. Nothing in your life has real value except as your thinking and believing have made it so. Therefore, think no longer that you are separated from me, and abide with me in the impersonal realm, where all power, wisdom, and love, the threefold nature of my idea, await expression through you. I have repeated these truths in different ways intentionally, so that you may comprehend my divine impersonality, which is truly your impersonality. Repetition is not redundant. Each time a truth is restated, it carries added meaning and leaves a stronger, more lasting impression on your mind. If this impression is not felt, your intellect alone is reading, and my real meaning has escaped you. But if you do comprehend, you will treasure each word, rereading it to uncover the pearls of wisdom I have in reserve for you. This book is a door into the impersonal estate, a fount of inspiration, enabling you to commune sweetly with me, your Father in heaven, and learn all things you desire to know. I have described the impersonal estate from many angles, so that you may distinguish it from inferior states and dwell consciously in it at will. When you can do so, my words will always find understanding in your mind, and I will allow you to use faculties I have been awakening in you. These faculties will help you see the reality of things more clearly, including the weaknesses and faults in others. But you are shown these not to judge them, but to awaken a resolve in you to overcome the same faults in yourself. You notice them in others only because they remain within you. I call them to your attention for your growth. Everything I have given you, all faculties, powers, possessions, blessings, and even trials, has been for use, to awaken recognition of me as the giver. Nothing is truly yours. All things are mine, operating through you. Success and satisfaction come only from using these gifts in my service. Through you, I may create music, art, or poetry, inspire great teachings, perform healings, or work miracles. Yet none of this benefits you personally unless you live these truths daily, allowing my love and perfection to flow through you. Even those who believe they have no special gifts can serve me fully. I will use you, your personality, faults and weaknesses included, to awaken others, inspire higher ideals, and influence lives positively. As you grow into the realization of this and apply all you have in my service, I will give you the strength and ability to consciously use my power, wisdom, and love in the expression of my divine idea, eternally striving to manifest its perfection through you. Your human personality, with all its faculties, powers, and possessions, operating as mine through you, is wholly for my use. True success and satisfaction can only come through such use. Just as a planted seed develops into a harvest, so will the conscious use of my spiritual faculties grow into the perfect expression of my idea, an expression that can exist only through your human personality. Chapter 12. Soulmates. Let us now examine some of the things I have given you, especially those things you cannot yet acknowledge me as the giver. Perhaps the position in life you now occupy does not seem ideal for expressing the divine idea surging within you. If so, why not step out and take the position of your choice? The fact that you cannot or do not do so shows that this is, at present, the position best suited to awakening you the qualities necessary for my perfect expression. I, your own self, am compelling you to remain here until you recognize the hidden purpose and meaning of this position, and how it can awaken your growth even through dissatisfaction. When you understand my meaning and make my purpose your own, then and only then will I give you the strength to move into a higher position I have prepared for you. Perhaps the husband or wife I have given you seems ill-suited to your aspirations or spiritual growth. You may think of leaving them for another who seems more sympathetic, appreciative, or aligned with your ideals. But know this, you cannot escape your own personality. In seeking a spiritual mate who merely mirrors your desires, you would only prolong the search and deepen the illusions of the mind before awakening to my voice within. A sympathetic mate might feed personal pride and self-centered desires, while an unsympathetic mate forces you to turn inward, where I reside. A loving, yielding partner might encourage conceit if you are not yet grounded in my impersonal love, while a difficult, demanding mate provides soul discipline, teaching the value of self-control and resilience. Did you know that the one who now assumes the role of your mate is, in reality, an angel from heaven, an attribute of my divine self? Their challenges reflect the shadows of qualities within you, magnified and projected outward, so you may see them, confront them, and purge them from yourself. Only then can my holy love express through you, and only then can both of you experience freedom and harmony. Until you recognize this soul in its divine beauty, even though now it is constrained by earthly limitations, you cannot truly find or recognize the ideal you seek. That ideal does not exist outside of you, in some other personality. It exists within, in your divine counterpart, your higher, immortal self. The seeming imperfections in your current mate are reflections of your own personality. They exist to awaken recognition of your higher self and the love within. The time will come when you cease searching outwardly for love, sympathy, or spiritual help. When you turn wholly to me within, the apparent imperfections of your mate will disappear. You will then perceive only the reflection of unselfish love, gentleness, trust, and constant effort to bring happiness, the qualities shining from your own heart through your mate. Perhaps you cannot yet fully believe this, and still question that I, your own self, am responsible for your position or your mate. But consider this: if not I, then who? Did your personality choose your circumstances or mate independently? Who placed you in this country, this town, at this precise time? The personality did not. All is orchestrated by me, perfectly and without error, as part of the expression of my idea through you, my living attribute. As for your true soulmate, cease looking for them elsewhere. They do not exist in another body. The part of you that longs for completion is your sense of me, the divine counterpart within, your other half. Only by uniting with me within, your impersonal self, can you fulfill your purpose on earth. This may seem mysterious to you now, but when you surrender completely and care for nothing but union with me, I will reveal to you the sweetness of the celestial ecstasy I have long reserved for you. Chapter 13. Authority. To you who still feel compelled to read books in search of explanations for the mysteries that hide the meaning of my idea expressed on earth, it is well that you seek outwardly. Following the impulses I send, you look to the interpretations of others, the philosophers, teachers, and writers. Even studying ancient teachings, philosophies, and religions of other peoples may prove profitable, for such searches are meant to guide you toward me. But the time will come when you will realize that the thoughts and teachings of others, no matter how beautiful or true, are not the ultimate authority for you. I have reserved for you teachings and thoughts that are yours alone, to be revealed in secret when you are ready to receive them. When that time comes, and it inevitably will, you may grow dissatisfied with searching among the teachings, books, and religions of others. You may notice that despite their claims, they do not grant you the spiritual growth or power they describe. End quote. Then you will learn that while all such teachings were inspired by me and served their purpose for many, for you it is now time to cease seeking authority externally. Instead, Confine your study to my book of life, guided and instructed by me alone. If you do this sincerely, you will find that I have chosen you to be a high priest of a spiritual path whose glory and depth surpass all former teachings, as the sun surpasses a distant star. Understand this: the religions of the past were for the people of those times and places, and the teachings of other races are for those peoples. They were never intended for you, except to inspire you to search for me within. The time has come to cast aside all accumulated knowledge, teachings, religions, and even outer authorities, including my outer revelations. You have been quickened to the consciousness of my presence within. All external authority is now only a means to guide you inward, to the final authority, me. Why cling to the past, to dead teachings, to accumulated knowledge? The past has no life, it cannot serve you in the present. Likewise, the future concerns you not. To look to the future for perfection is to remain chained to illusion. You, who are one with me, are perfect now. You have always been perfect, knowing neither youth nor old age, birth nor death. The eternal now is all that concerns you, the present moment in which to perfectly express my idea in the circumstances I have placed you. Once you have done so, leave it behind. Do not carry the shells of past acts, for you have already extracted their essence. This applies even to reincarnation. What have you, the perfect and eternal, to do with past or future lives? The perfect cannot add to its perfection. The eternal cannot return to eternity. It is always. I am, and you are, one with me, always and forever. The I am in you expresses through all of humanity my body, which I use to manifest the light of my idea. Even if you remember glimpses of past lives, know that these memories are only my allowance for your comprehension. They are not proof that you, personally, were the channel of that expression. I express through all avenues, and you, with me, are life and intelligence in all expression. Until you rise above the personal, you remain chained by the personality, bound by beliefs, past experiences, and human delusions. To free yourself, you must recognize your divine immortality, omnipotence, and intelligence, casting off all personal beliefs. Only then can you assume your rightful position as master and king, one with me, seated upon the throne of self, compelling the personality to its proper role as servant, ready and willing to obey my slightest command. Then, and only then, will you become a worthy instrument of my use. Chapter 14. Mediums and Mediators. All spiritual teachers, writers, and leaders are channels through which I, the impersonal one within, express my idea. Often, those who speak or teach do not fully understand the meaning of the words they convey. Yet, the words themselves quicken the hearts and consciousness of those who are ready to receive them. Many I inspire become teachers or leaders, organizing churches, societies, or movements. These leaders attract followers, and through their words, I reach the hearts of those prepared to recognize me. The leaders themselves may do nothing consciously. They are only instruments through which my idea is expressed. The mind is merely a channel, and the intellect an instrument. True comprehension occurs only when the heart is open and receptive to me. Until then, the mortal mind can grasp only fragments of my meaning. You may seek guidance from a teacher, priest, or spiritual leader, hoping to receive messages from a master or guide. You may place faith in them, follow their teachings, and even offer devotion, service, or resources. This is all allowed, for it is through your desires and seeking that I guide you. However, all such external seeking is ultimately for your own learning. Disillusionment and humiliation inevitably follow, as you discover the limitations of human teachers. These experiences are deliberate. They humble you, strip away ego and pride, and prepare you to listen to and obey the teacher within, your own true self. To those strong enough to grasp it, you need no mediator. You can come directly to me in consciousness. I am already one with you, and I receive you as I did my son Jesus, and as I may one day express through you. I use all avenues impersonally. Some individuals become better channels than others, while some have hearts quickened to contain me more fully, becoming consciously at one with me. Yet all serve my purposes, whether consciously aware of me or not. When people gather in my name, I inspire each of them according to their capacity. Words spoken by a teacher, priest, or medium contain a distinct message for each individual, chosen by me within them. The union of devotion and aspiration in the hearts of those gathered creates a channel through which I awaken soul consciousness. Even if a teacher or leader misunderstands me or uses my words for personal gain, I work through all conditions. Their missteps eventually lead them and their followers to recognize my will and my idea, bringing learning, growth, and humanity. Do not be surprised when profound truths come from mouths that seem unfit or unaware. Likewise, followers may awaken faster than their teachers. I, dwelling within all, orchestrate the conditions, show that each soul can express my attributes at the right time and place, harmoniously complementing others, and manifesting my idea as fully as possible. Chapter 15. Masters. I may have led you at times, giving you glimpses in self-induced visions and dreams of ideal beings, which you believe to be masters. I may even have opened in you certain faculties, allowing you to sense personalities that have passed into the spirit realm, drawn to you by your desires, who are tempted to act as masters or guides. But now the time has come for you to know this. Such beings are not masters. Divine beings are not masters. I, and I alone, your own real self, am the only master for you. Any being, human or spirit, that presents itself to your consciousness as a master is only a personality like yours, and therefore not truly divine, no matter the truths it utters or the marvels it performs. This is a mystery, and until you can comprehend it, it may seem inconsistent with certain teachings or statements you have read elsewhere. But do not fear. This mystery will be revealed to you if you sincerely wish to understand my meaning. Why seek in human or spirit teachers, guides, masters, or angels for limited manifestations of my perfection when you can come directly to me, God, within you, the omniscient, omnipotent, omnipresent, inspiring idea behind all manifestations? As I am in you, I am in all those you seek. All the wisdom, power, and love they possess come only from me. Why not come to me now and allow me to prepare you so I can express my all through you? As long as your mind seeks a master in another being, you will be fed such ideas until I allow you to meet and commune with one. But even then, It will serve only to hasten your awakening and disillusionment. When you learn that even the master is only a personality, perhaps advanced, but still a personality, and not the divine one your innermost soul seeks to know. I feed you with every idea that will teach you the reality behind appearances. If I allow apparent deception or loss of faith in human and even divine perfection, it is only to help you distinguish between substance and shadow, and prepare you for a higher ideal I am waiting to reveal. You can rise in your human personality only to the ideal your mind can conceive. Through desire, I manifest my will and perform wondrous works. But you who have risen above desire, who no longer seek a master or teacher, but abide alone in the faith of my eternal presence and promise, for you I have in store a communion beyond your human imagination. You are human, yet divine and therefore perfect. You may believe the first truth, but not the second, yet both are true. That is the mystery. You are exactly what you think you are, one or the other, or both. You are one with me. I am in your body, mind, intellect, in every cell, every attribute, every faculty. I am the soul, the active principle in all. And you are in me, a cell of my body, an attribute of my mind, a faculty of my intellect. You are a part of me, yet you are I. We are one, always have been. Your human personality is to you what you are to my divine impersonality. It is our creation, an expression of our being. You are one of my mental attributes, one of my divine powers, one of the radiations of my will, sent forth to express impersonally my idea on earth. Could an angel, a wholly impersonal being, be concerned with human affairs? No. It only uses your human nature and affairs as mediums for my will to manifest my idea. The idea of a master was presented to lead you to me, your impersonal self, the one true master within. Your human mind may feel it needs a master to handle life's trials. If I send someone who seems to guide you, only to disappoint or deceive, it is so that you turn to me within, and finally listen to the voice you have long ignored. For those who have not yet met such a master, I have experiences in store that will eventually lead you to me, showing that I am the master, the inspiring idea behind every thought and aspiration toward a master, whether from within or without. To think of a master is to create one. Your desire and imagination build all the qualities you believe a master possesses. Eventually, this idea may manifest, either as a personality in the flesh or in visions and dreams. The saying, "When the pupil is ready, the master appears," is true in this sense. Your desire for a master brings one to you, but only when I have prepared you. Yet such a master is only an appearance. The true master may be hidden in a friend, business associate, neighbor, or even your own spouse or child. I teach through all avenues necessary to reach your consciousness. I speak in many voices: fear, love, envy, kindness, ambition, pleasure, jealousy, sensuality, suffering, shame, all human emotions and desires. I speak through nature, experience, and knowledge. All are my voice, reminding you that I am in all, and that I am in you, waiting for recognition and cooperation in expressing my idea of impersonal perfection on earth. When this recognition comes, you will meet and know the true master, your own impersonal self. Then you will understand why no human or other being can be impersonal and a master to you, why an impersonal being could never have personal interest in human affairs. If someone seems divine but shows interest in you, they are not wholly impersonal. They may be a masterman, but not the divine one your soul yearns to serve. If you settle for such a one, I will gradually reveal their imperfections, drawing you to me in complete surrender, acknowledging me and my impersonality as the only model and ideal, the true cause inspiring your search for perfection, found only within your own soul. Chapter 16. The Christ and Love. You, my human attributes, must pass through what all personalities must pass before they can again become impersonal enough to consciously express my divine idea with me. Before the I am within can awaken your mind to realize me, your divine self, you must be born of a virgin love in a humble place where the cattle feed. This symbolizes the humble, contrite heart filled with faith and trust in God, to which your human nature must come. Then you must be taken into Egypt, the land of darkness, representing intellectual activity, there to grow and thrive in body and understanding until you feel my presence within. When you are conscious of my power and love, I will speak through you words of wisdom and truth that will confound even the learned of the world. A long period of study and meditation will follow, ripening your mind and developing your soul until you reach full maturity of I Am consciousness, preparing you for your baptism in the Jordan, when you will open completely to me and fully realize that you and I are one. From that point onward, I am permitted wholly to direct your life. I then lead you into the world, called the wilderness, in my other revelation, to test you, strengthen you, and teach you to use my divine attributes impersonally. You will face the three great temptations: power, self-righteousness, and money, until you prove that nothing of intellect, self, or outer influence can make you forget me within. My voice, and mine alone, is the only voice you will be capable of hearing. Once this is proven, your period of performing miracles and teaching the multitude begins, along with the revilement and persecution of the unbelieving world, the trial before worldly authority, the cross of suffering, the 3 days in the tomb, and finally the resurrection, entering complete union with me. All of these experiences have inner meanings for the soul, which you can understand if your heart is open to me. This has been the way in the past for all who have studied and followed my former revelations. But now the time has come for a new dispensation. Those strong enough to abandon the claims of human personality and say, I am, will rise above worldly attractions and express the full glories of my divine idea. The Christ, or the I Am consciousness, must be born in your heart and in the heart of every human personality. The love and compassion expressed by the Christ must also be expressed in your own life before you can fully taste the fruits of that love. This love is not merely human affection, but the holy three-in-one: love, wisdom, power, the true expression of my impersonal life. Previously, you did not know the meaning of impersonal life, and therefore could not know impersonal love. Human love has always been attached to personal interest. But now, as you feel me within and open your heart to contain me, I will fill you with a wondrous new feeling that quickens every fiber of your being. It becomes a creative instinct, a veritable elixir of life. When you pour this love forth into the world through your actions, you will taste the unutterable sweetness of my holy, impersonal love, accompanied by illumination of mind and consciousness of unlimited power. You will become a holy, selfless channel for the impersonal expression of my divine idea. You will realize that you are part of me and part of every other being. All you have or are is mine, to be used wherever and however I direct. Favory, favory, your life will no longer be centered in yourself. Yourself will merge with your other selves, freely giving life, understanding, strength, and substance, all phases of my impersonal life or love, portioned to you for this purpose. In the personality of Jesus, the Christ, I manifested enough impersonal love to inspire you to seek to emulate his life and personality, awakening in you the consciousness of the Christ within. The Christ is the channel or door that opens unto me, allowing you to consciously become part of my impersonal life. My impersonal love is not concerned with personal lives or attachments. All such are merely outer mediums through which I pour my real love into the world, ever expressing its creative, uplifting, and vitalizing power. My love does not consider individuals. It uses them as instruments on the chessboard of life to accomplish the full expression of the danger of my divine idea. In humanity alone can I express my idea. Humanity is my body, and individual personalities are its cells. Just as your body's cells express your being, so humanity expresses mine. Each cell that partakes of my life and becomes impersonal contributes to the health and harmony of the whole. If one cell opposes the general law of its organ, the organ's harmony is disrupted, affecting the whole body. Similarly, in humanity, disobedience or disharmony in its cells causes suffering, disease, poverty, misunderstanding, or even war. Each cell must give up its individual life for the perfect functioning of the whole. Only when each cell and organ makes itself a selfless channel for my impersonal life can my body, humanity, become a harmonious and perfect whole. Then my idea will express fully on earth, as it does in heaven. As you give up yourself wholly to me, pouring forth my holy, impersonal love, without any other thought than perfect expression of that love, you awaken those around you to the Christ within them. Eventually, the part of my body that you and others form attains perfect harmony, adding to the total health of my body of humanity. Then my divine life force, my impersonal love, will flow throughout all humanity, and my idea will manifest fully on earth. The physical and worldly will be purified and lifted to whence it descended. The creation's purpose, to develop channels for the outward expression of my divine idea will, have been accomplished. From then on, I will create and express, through mind substance alone, the only medium needed in the heavenly world of impersonal life. Chapter 17. Finding Me. If a thought arises that you recognize as something you've heard or read somewhere else, Cast it aside immediately and say, "No, Father, what do you say?" Other thoughts may come from other human sources, but if you are alert, you will recognize them as such and refuse to accept them. Persist in asking me, and eventually you will receive an answer you will know is truly from me. At first, it will be gradual. But as you learn to distinguish my voice from all others and keep your personal interests completely suppressed, you will be able to hold silent communion with me at will, free from interference by the ideas, beliefs, or opinions of others. You can ask any question or respond to others' questions, and I will place in your mind the words to speak, either silently to yourself or audibly to another. You, my beloved, who have consecrated yourself to me and are striving to unite with me, but have found the supports of the world withdrawn, without money or friends, unsure where to turn for help. Know this, you are very close. Continue to abide in me, letting my word guide you, resting and trusting absolutely in my promise. Soon I will bring you joy, fulfillment, and peace that human words or minds cannot possibly describe. For you have obeyed my commands, trusted me, and sought first my kingdom and righteousness. Therefore I will add all other things unto you, even those the world has denied you. But for you, dear one, who has consecrated yourself to me, yet still clings to worldly standards, I allow failure, disappointment, or poverty to teach you the real value of worldly things, their impermanence and inability to bring true happiness. You may not yet see this, and your heart may be anxious about bread, rent, or past due bills. Remember my words long ago in the Sermon on the Mount. Take no thought for your life, what you shall eat or drink, nor for your body, what you shall wear. Is not life more than food, and the body more than clothing? Consider the birds of the air. Are ye not much better than they? Which of you, by taking thought, can add 1 cubit to his stature? And why take ye thought for clothing? Consider the lilies of the field, how they grow. Even Solomon, in all his glory, was not arrayed like one of these. If God so clothe the grass of the field, shall he not much more clothe you, O ye of little faith? Therefore take no thought for tomorrow shall take thought for the things of itself. Sufficient unto the day is the evil thereof. Do you need more definite commands or promises than these? Have I not always provided everything you needed? Can you look back over your life and see where I have not helped or guided you at the right moment? Have you ever wished to exchange your spiritual understanding for worldly possessions? Understand this, my children. Money, home, clothes, and food are only incidental. They have nothing to do with your real life unless you give them importance, letting me remain a side issue. When necessary, I may remove worldly supports so you learn the truth. I am the only important thing in life, and I must come first if you truly love me. This is the work of the true physician, who removes the cause of disease so that real and lasting happiness, prosperity, and health can be yours. You who have lost health, courage, and all hold of self, who have sought help from earthly remedies and physicians, must finally turn fully to me. You must surrender completely to me, the one and only physician. I am the life omnipotent within you. I am your health, strength, and vitality. True and lasting health comes only when you feel me within and know I am all this to you. Draw close now, I will reveal the means of obtaining health, prosperity, happiness, union, and peace. Blessed are you who find it. Be still and know I am God. Know I am in you. Know I am you. Know I am your life. Know all wisdom, love, and power flow through this life, now flowing freely through your being. I am the life, the intelligence, the power in all substance, in every cell of your body, in all mineral, vegetable, and animal matter, in fire, water, air, sun, moon, and stars. I am that which is. All consciousness is one with mine. Through my consciousness, all that exists is yours for the asking. Speak to them in my name. Speak in the consciousness of your oneness with me. Speak with awareness of my power in you and my intelligence in all things. Speak, command in this consciousness, and the universe will obey. Rise up, aspirant for union with me. Accept your divine heritage. Open your soul, mind, and body, and breathe in my breath of life. Know that I am filling you with divine power. Every fiber, nerve, cell, and atom of your being is alive with me, alive with health, strength, intelligence, and being. I am within you. We are not separated. We could not be. I am you. I am your real self, your real life, and I am manifesting all my powers in you now. Awake, rise and assert your sovereignty. Know yourself and your powers. Know that all I have is yours, that my omnipotent life flows through you. Use it to build whatever you will. It will manifest as health, power, prosperity, union, happiness, and peace. Anything you command. Imagine it, think it, know it. Then, with all the positiveness of your nature, speak the creative word. It will not return void. But remember, this cannot occur until you have come to me in complete surrender, until you have given yourself, your substance, your affairs, and your life into my keeping, resting and trusting absolutely. Then these words will awaken my divine powers latent in your soul. You will feel a mighty force within, which, as you abide in me, will free you from illusion, quicken your spirit, clear the way for you, provide all things you desire, and lift trouble and suffering forevermore. Then there will be no more doubts or questionings, for you will know that I, God, your very self, will always provide and always show the way, for you and I are one. Chapter 18. Union. Every experience you encounter can now become a blessing rather than a trial or the karmic result of past actions. In each experience, I will reveal marvelous expressions of my meaning, gradually bringing you into a loving, intimate union with me. You will no longer be drawn by old desires, but will seek only to know my will and to please me. This will show in all areas of your life. In every task or activity, you will act without concern for the nature of the work, simply doing what lies before you, knowing that it is what I require. Your aim will always be to please me through the impersonal part of your actions, allowing me to accomplish my will efficiently. Even in your business or profession, I am present. I provide you with opportunities, not so that you may succeed or fail according to human standards, or accumulate wealth for yourself or your descendants, but so that your heart may awaken to me, the impersonal one, inspiring and guiding all that you do. You will come to see that your work, labor, or life conditions are merely outer vehicles I use to bring you to this realization and to develop your soul qualities, which until now were imperfectly expressed. If you know me as dwelling within your heart, accompanying you in all your work, and permit me to direct your business and actions, you will instantly experience a new power. This power will flow from you as gentle, loving sympathy, true brotherliness, and helpfulness to all you meet. It will inspire others to higher principles, attracting to you friends, opportunities, and abundance. It will connect you to the highest realms of thought, enabling you to envision and manifest all my impersonal powers and attributes at every moment. You will no longer need to go to church, religious meetings, or even read spiritual teachings to find me. Instead, you will turn inward and always find me there, filled with joy as you commune with and serve me. My presence will soften circumstances, uplift the community, and guide your actions so that others sense my life through you. In your home, particularly, I will dwell. Through family members, husband, wife, child, sibling, parent, even through those who seem difficult or selfish, I will develop in you patience, gentleness, forbearance, loving kindness, selflessness, and understanding. You will come to see that deep within their hearts, I am inspiring their personalities to give what your personality calls forth. Instead of blaming others, you will turn inward to me, the impersonal one, and speak gentle, loving words that immediately soften hearts and bring people closer. You will see me shining through every human personality, recognizing that I am the source of all perfection, harmony, and loving kindness. You will understand that all situations I place you in are chosen for your best opportunity to serve me. The more challenging they are to your personality, the greater the need for my living presence. Wherever you are, whether in business, a profession, manual labor, the church, or even the underworld, you have the best opportunity to serve. Those whose lives have been quickened by me must now become the quickeners, bringing my living presence, light, and healing love to awaken others to my voice within. No condition can be lifted by running away. It must be transformed through the divine touch, supplied by one who has journeyed through the depths and heights of human experience, with me as guide and interpreter. Those who read and comprehend these words are blessed, and your work lies before you. Even those who hesitate, still clouded by fear, will soon partake of my blessings. Know that I am already manifesting my will through you. The time will come when you will know no other will but mine, and all that you will come to pass. This will only occur when you surrender completely, giving yourself and everything in your life wholly to me, leaving nothing in your human personality to attract disharmony from others. Then your life will be a continuous round of blessing. Wherever you go, my light will shine, and my love will radiate, creating peace, concord, and unity. Others will be better and happier simply because of your presence, for the I Am within them senses the impersonal expression of my life through you, even if their human consciousness is unaware of it.